Hey, this is the Daily Overpass. My name is Eric and I make apps. Now today, let's talk about how not all of your apps are equal. All right, so last night we had our weekly live stream at 5 p.m. UK time, and once again it was really long. It was like an hour and 15 minutes, right? But during the live stream I said how I might miss today for a video because I couldn't think of a really good topic. Well, this morning I got an email from Rauno Jarvanen with a really good question. Jarno writes, I've just finished watching your live stream while doing chores and had a suggestion for tomorrow's video. I'm trying to decide what to work since I have quite a few apps in the store and I'm having difficulties prioritizing my time. How do you choose which of the many apps you work on, or how do you decide on new projects? This is a really good question because if you have a lot of apps, you have to prioritize which ones you work on. And there's two different types. There's the types that you really like, but they don't get a lot of downloads, and there's the ones that get a lot of downloads, but you're kind of tired of. And that's the situation with me. And it's always the ones that have a lot of downloads that I have to work on, right? Because as app developers, we're always putting things out there, and some things are going to really stick and they're going to start generating revenue, and those things you need to water and care for them and make sure that they're taken care of. Make sure every time there's a new library out, you have to take care of that one. And some of the other ones that even though you might like them more, they might not even get noticed very much. So whenever I show you guys my Google Play developer console, a lot of times you'll see the yellow triangles on the right. It's because those are apps that are not getting a lot of downloads. They're still in the App Store and I need to make little changes to the libraries in them. They haven't been removed yet, so I just like, okay, I need to get around to doing that. And they're like low on my priority list because they don't get a lot of downloads and they're just out there. And then I have the ones that are really important where every time something new like GDPR comes out, I have to do this one now because I can't mess this one up. This one can't mess up because this is the majority of the revenue coming through. Even though it might be one that, you know, I really like to work on something new or something that is a bit more passionate about, or something I work on. And I think about this as being like, as music singers do. So like years ago, my kids got into, like, I guess it was like 12 or 13 years old, got into Bon Jovi, right? And Bon Jovi had come to the UK for a big tour, so it was in London. And I was like, God, Bon Jovi. Bon Jovi was around when I was a kid, right? That's you know, but so we went to go see Bon Jovi. And of course, you know, so they had a new album out at the time, so they kept trying to play the songs from the new album, which nobody really cared about. But if they didn't play Living on a Prayer at the end, everybody would freak out. Like, that's the one that, and I'm sure after all those years, whatever, 20, 30 years of singing it, I'm sure they're sick of it, but that's what they have to do because that's the one that makes them the most money. And I think the same way as apps. There's some apps where you're like, oh, you know what, you want to move on from this and do something else, but you know, this is the one that makes you the money, so you can't take that for granted. If you have something special which is generating revenue or generating downloads, or even if it has more potential of generating the revenue and downloads, you have to get that more attention than the others. I mean, not all apps are created equal, and you know, the downside of that is a lot of times I'll have people go through and say, hey Eric, I was looking at your apps and I downloaded Secret Agent Typing, or one of the ones where I'm like, dude, I haven't updated that thing in years, right? It's kind of embarrassing, but it's still out there. And they'll say, yeah, you know, and they'll say, I think you should change this, and this, and you're like, yeah, no, that's a really good point. I should change those things, but it's really low on the priorities. And one day I might, but it's like, you know, it's not really something, because the only time anybody ever downloads that app is when they're looking at all of my apps together and they're thinking, that one looks interesting, and then they go into it. But it's not like it doesn't generate a lot of revenue. So I mean, that would be my answer to that question. You have to prioritize based on that. And in terms of new projects, whenever something new comes along, which I think is worth investing in, then I will. But it's been a while since we released anything new, to be honest with you, because the stuff that I look at, I think, oh, I'm not quite sure about that one yet. So, and we've been focusing a lot on client work lately, and also updating the current ones, trying to get those up the stores, because after the fiasco with Apple rejecting everything because I have too many apps, I'm a bit wary about putting any more apps out there just yet, just on my own, because I have, you know, over 100 on the App Store, but Google Play's fine. So anyway, hope that answers the question. Let me know what you guys think. How do you prioritize which apps to work on if you have many? And that is it for today. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.